Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the Vampire Diaries, Season 5, Episode 5, The World Has Turned and Left Me Here. I'm your host, Dom Salvatore, and with me is my co-host, Omikins Bennett.
Really?
You're a witch, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of this episode?
Oh, I thought it was amazing.
This is their best episode this season.
I have to completely agree with you.
Hands down. I am so thrilled with this episode that I'm willing to forget the atrocities of Season 5.
Yeah. Me too.
This has redeemed them for all of that.
It really has.
So, yeah, we got to see a lot this episode with Stefan's girlfriend, Ivy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only is she not in transition, she's a full-fledged vampire already.
Yeah.
She apparently woke up while Stefan's boss, Dean, was burying her.
Right.
And decided to feast.
To have some noms.
Yep. Do you think that's not quite as satisfying if Stefan had the chance to kill him himself?
I think at this
Dean was
point
a
it doesn't
dick.
really matter. He was a dick, but we all know that Stefan's not going to have a chance to go back.
Well, now, no.
Definitely now.
Yeah. But I was still hoping Stefan went back there just to kill him. That's what I was hoping. So to me, it's not as satisfying because he dies off camera and by Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very satisfying to me.
Sorry.
But then we see Stefan talking to Tripp. Makes a phone call in the middle of the night and wakes Stefan up. And basically tells him that as a founding family member, he needs to be in the know, and informs Stefan that Enzo is still alive. He's been interrogating him for information, and the only thing that Enzo has spilled the beans on is there's vampires in Savannah, which is where Stefan is. So Stefan packs up and goes back to Whitmore College area, which is supposedly on the outskirts of Mystic Falls. He brings Ivy to Caroline and basically tries to pawn Ivy off onto Caroline.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants nothing to do. He threatens Luke, saying, you owe me after my brother, which Alaric pretty much called him out on. But
Yeah.
you know that's exactly how that went down. Alaric hit the head on the nail. He slid the ring under Caroline's door and literally was leaving town until he found some messages that Caroline left him saying that Ivy had escaped, snapped Caroline's neck, and ran off to go do her thing, and Caroline doesn't know where she is.
Yep.
So, what did you think of Ivy as a vampire?
She's manipulative. Very so. Like, very much so. You would think well, Caroline is also kind of daft, so, I mean, she's trusting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just that boost of power Ivy feels, and she thinks she can do anything without much, training, basically, which is not the case, as we found out.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she can't even compel someone correctly.
Nope.
She's just like, erase. Erase what?
You guys looking at it like, oh, don't kill me, please.
But I don't know if she compelled him at the end there when she said, just run. And then he
if someone
ran.
told me to run, I'd run.
Well, because the way compulsion works is you have to, recreate their memories or give them instructions.
Right.
And all she said was erase. That's not very descriptive, so I don't believe that did anything.
No, it's...
But the run may have been compulsion. We don't know for sure.
We're not sure, no. I mean, she did say, run, just get out of here. She didn't tell him to forget. So he was running.
Right.
And then... truck.
Well, he was pretty much standing there the whole time until she told him to run.
Mm-hmm.
But is this just a product of Caroline being a horrible teacher?
No, it's because Ivy wasn't listening. She never gave Caroline the chance to, like, go into deeper descriptions of what she had to do.
She just like want to party all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, then she wants to play Scrabble. How many versions of Scrabble are, like, Caroline has 3, but how many versions of Scrabble even exist?
A lot. There's a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite is classic, but seriously, though. I mean, there's themed Scrabbles, and there's, like, the Trivial Pursuit Scrabble. There's a bunch. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get to play Scrabble.
No.
But Ivy goes off. She's running. She's trying to find the guy that ran off. In the meantime, she's waiting around for Caroline, and Trip comes along and snatches her up into his van.
Yeah.
Starts shooting those, are they vervain darts? I don't remember. We've seen those before.
I think they're just vervain darts.
Okay.
They might have, like, a bit of...
like season 3, I want to say.
That's when the werewolves first came around, right?
Season 2 is when the werewolves came around. I don't remember if it was season 2 or season 3. Is when Damon and Alaric were going on their best buds hunting spree together. I think that was season 3 when Stefan was kind of running around with Klaus.
Right, okay.
But I don't remember exactly. The time... everything past, like, season... I remember season 1 very well. Season 2, 3, and 4 are kind of a blur to me. They all seem like they ran together.
Yeah, they do kind of seem like they meshed really well with each other.
Yeah. And season 5 stands out to me for being the worst season ever. So I can't possibly forget that one.
You know what? It was alright with the Augustine stuff. It was kind of interesting then. It wasn't, like, complete drag. But
yeah,
past that, it was like, I am so done.
I couldn't stand the Travelers. And the fact that their stupid anti-magic bubble is still lingering is really annoying me more than anything, because it's just a constant reminder that that season existed.
Mm-hmm.
But after Trip takes Ivy, Caroline kind of shows up and witnesses, you know, the taking of her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Caroline's going to end up doing?
Well, first she's going to get Stefan, and then she's going to find out Damon's back. But they're going to try and get Ivy back because she's not like Enzo. She's going to spill the beans.
Yep, she's going to say everything.
Mm-hmm. She's going to say, this person's a vampire, this person's a vampire.
She doesn't know about Elena, right?
I don't think she knows about Elena.
She definitely knows about Caroline. She knows about Stefan. She knows about Enzo, but that's not a big deal. And knows that Luke is going to make her a ring.
Yeah, she knows the name Luke. She doesn't know who he is, really.
Right. But still, names are dangerous in a town like that.
Especially, yeah.
So, that's going to be a very, very interesting dynamic that plays out.
They totally have to get her back, or kill her before Trip gets any information out of her.
She's going to just, as soon as he interrogates her, she's just going to be like, this, and spill everything.
Yeah. The beans will literally spill out of a can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
But out of all that, the moments between Ivy and everything, the one moment that came out of that I really enjoyed was when Stefan and Alaric were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And Alaric is just being like this really big dick. Justified, but he's still being a dick. And he's like, so you want me to help you get over your ex-girlfriend. How about not?
Mm-hmm.
How about you go fix your problems and deal with them like the man that I remember, or I will compel you to be the guy that I remember.
Yeah, I mean, Alaric's learned from Elena that compelling memories away is not the way to deal with things.
Right.
And that you have to take things head on. So, and plus Stefan is how old? You'd think he would know how to deal with his own problems.
Wouldn't the easiest solution be to, like, go to another continent? I mean, if you're really trying to start over,
why are you
still hanging around? Like, where was he? I don't even remember. Where was he? Savannah?
Savannah. It wasn't
Savannah where? What town is that? Or what state is that? Did they say?
I don't remember, but it's not far away from Mystic Falls. Not that far, anyways.
Savannah, Georgia? That's
sure.
Right. Savannah, Georgia. So, if they're in Mystic Falls, which is in, what, West Virginia? they're really not that far. If you were legitimately looking to start over, go to, like, Rome.
Go to Canada.
Canada's on the same continent.
But that border there, you know, it might as well be a different continent.
But they're vampires. They can compel their way across them.
They can compel their way onto a plane and go overseas, too. I mean...
Yeah, but it's much more of an effort.
Sit on a plane and just, like, sip wine and watch movies.
They could run from Mystic Falls to Canada in, like, a day with their vampire speed. But I'm pretty sure they can't run across the top of the water. They'd have to, like, run under the ocean floor, and that just... They don't need to breathe. It just seems like a big hassle. Like, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd probably do it once just to say I did it. You know, but...
Like swimming in the English Channel?
Yeah. But I'd never do it again. I don't know.
Diving off Niagara Falls?
But then that also... yeah, in a barrel. Donkey Kong barrel. Get a big gorilla to throw the barrel with you in it into Niagara Falls. That would be a record nobody could ever top.
You need a red cap.
Yep. No, better yet, you do a quick change inside the barrel. You start out as Mario and you come out as Luigi. It'd be amazing. The puzzled look on your face. But yeah, what you were saying about Alaric learning about Elena, that also brings up the fact that Elena has not compelled Alaric to forget about Damon again. She doesn't have the memories of it.
No, all she needed to know was that at one point the feelings she had for Damon were real and they were for reasons, and that's enough for her.
Right.
At this moment, she doesn't need them. Next episode, or the episode after, though, that's a different story.
Yep. Definitely going to be. It's going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the whole corn maze event? The way Alaric was explaining it and everything in class?
It seemed really lame.
It did. It seemed very directed at Elena.
Yeah. Well, it probably was, but...
But she even said herself, it's not very effective when I don't even have the memories of this stuff.
That's her own fault.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole... I mean, it seemed like a legit story, but that wouldn't make me spooked.
Yeah.
Go out there and, tear some corn off in the maze and be like... Throw it in the fire. Popcorn!
Yeah, we get to see the guy that Ivy had attacked running across the road, which made Tyler's truck swerve and drive through the corn maze.
Yeah!
Devastation going everywhere. People injured left and right. The initial guy that got hit was dragged quite a ways into the ditch of where the truck actually stopped. So he went a very, very long way. And had a lot of internal injuries, brain damage. It appeared. There was blood coming out of his mouth, nose, and eyes.
And who knows where else.
Almost as if he had Ebola.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I had to go there.
Yeah, well, it is you. It wouldn't be you if you didn't go there.
This is true. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you had Alaric and Joe were set up to go, and they're working on people. Then you have Elena and that guy that I don't care to learn his name.
Liam.
Mm-hmm. Elena and Liam working on people, and Tyler and Liv are trying to save this one guy.
It's Tyler.
It's
one person. Liv, Tyler.
You are a terrible person. You just yelled at me for making an Ebola joke, and you're gonna make a Liv Tyler joke, and that's gonna be okay? I can't let that fly.
She's not a disease.
Might as well be. I'm kidding. No, but yeah, it's like everybody's working. We see Liam use the pen for the trachea, to breathe. Her airway was how did he put it? It was dislodged.
I don't know the word. Depressed or something
dislodged. I don't know. So something along those lines. So he did that to restrict the airflow. Elena was ready to use her vampire blood as a crutch. She didn't see any way around it. I mean, she already did that with the fake Lady Whitmore.
Mm-hmm.
Running through the cornfield lady. She fixed him. Liam is very suspicious of her now. He's like, "How did you fix her? I couldn't have done that."
I think he's not suspicious anymore. He's got a little bit of Elena action.
Yeah.
I think he completely forgot about it. He's like, I have a bed to go make.
Wow. Yeah. So it seems like the two of them are going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And then when Liv and Tyler found out that that guy was going to die, Tyler starts becoming all paranoid and whiny that he's going to become a werewolf again.
Yeah.
But then Liv decides, nope, she's going to beat him to it and kill him for him.
Yeah, which I was like, that makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I mean,
why? I don't understand this at all.
She likes Tyler. She knows that becoming a werewolf is only a bad thing.
Okay.
And she probably wouldn't feel the same way about him because he wouldn't be a human or normal. Even though she's acting the way she is around him, like Luke pointed out that, she's doing that thing where she's being mean because she likes him. Mm-hmm. Like this, grade 3 schoolyard, you kick him in the shins and you run away. Hee, I like you. She's kind of doing the same thing. But she took the risk and she killed this poor schmuck for Tyler so he wouldn't have to endure that pain.
But as we just got through saying, the barrier is still up around Mystic Falls. Soon as you trigger your curse, walk back through and guess what? You're human again.
Yeah, but did you see how much pain he was in the first time?
So?
He didn't want to.
You should have just, instead of sitting there with this guy, let him die, get in the truck, and run back to Mystic Falls as fast as you can.
I don't know. I don't think it's that easy anymore.
How is it not that easy? It strips away all the magic.
It's more of a psychological thing. You have to kind of put yourself in Tyler's shoes and be like, I don't want to go through that again.
I just want to know, what is up with all these kids getting away with vehicular manslaughter and the police aren't even looking for the person driving the truck? Like, Tyler's just free to sit around in class afterwards and talk to Liv or whatever it is and not have to worry about the police coming to look for him. It's clearly his truck.
I don't know.
Those are my two big flaws with this episode.
That there's no law, really.
Yeah.
They're just kind of running rampant.
I mean, we're not in Mystic Falls anymore. They're and wherever Whitmore College is, which is, on the outskirts. So it's not like they have Caroline's mother, I forget her name now.
Sheriff Forbes.
Sheriff Forbes. They don't have Sheriff Forbes to cover for them. So we didn't see them compelling the police or anything like that. So, I mean, they could have off camera, and that could be the explanation for it.
Maybe.
But it's...
Maybe they're just that the police just believe that Tyler's story was like, oh gosh, this guy, he ran out in the middle of the road and I swerved and I lost control and things happened and now I'm
Stop
okay.
to take him in for questioning.
Who knows? Maybe that happened.
Maybe. I don't know. But then we saw Lark and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's like, oh my god, you're injured.
Well, he
Lark
was.
rolls over and pulls the wooden splinter out of his side. I want to call it a steak, because it basically was.
It basically was, yeah.
Pulls the steak out of his stomach. She goes, oh my god, you're injured, you're bleeding, it's not okay. And she lifts up his shirt, and he's like, it's not my blood, it's yours. And
he's such a liar.
She's like, yeah. She's like, that's going to make things more difficult. So they work on people, they end up saving some lives, and they go back to the hospital, and she gets all patched up. And then they share a moment, and Alaric's like, I'm not ready for a relationship. And he's pretty much telling her all these things that she thought was true.
And then he uses these hypno-eyes on her, and she's like...
She's like, no, but I still want to kiss you, and you're not as lame as you think you are. And we're like, what?
Whoa, what?
The compulsion didn't quite work on her. Why do you think that is?
It didn't quite... No, it didn't work at all.
No.
It just failed completely. And now that that's happened, if she's very aware of what's going on as far as Alaric being a vampire because of compulsion, because, you know, compulsion is pretty straightforward. Mm-hmm. And they look at you in a weird way. It's like, you're not normal. So she knows about vampires because she's on Vervain or she's a witch. Yeah, she's going to easily put the puzzle pieces together, and it's going to get a little bit more complex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see Alaric turning her into a vampire? I mean, it would really help her excel in her field.
I don't see a point in doing that at all. I really don't. Unless she begs him for it. She, as the character, begs him for it. I don't think he will.
She's going to beg him for something else, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes to why didn't the compulsion work? Is she a witch? Is she on Vervain?
No idea. Well, she looks kind of creepy sometimes. They're really light blue eyes and then their misshapen head.
But do we know if original vampires can compel witches? Because we know original vampires can compel other supernatural creatures such as werewolves and vampires. Or can they werewolves? I don't even know. They could do hybrids, I know that much. I don't know if they could do werewolves.
I have no idea, actually. I've never really paid attention if that happened.
Yeah.
I just assumed that it was a thing.
I don't know. So it's either she's a witch or she's on Vervain. I'm willing to bet Vervain.
Vervain, yeah. I think that's the most pliable thing, possibility.
Yeah. Then probably the most interesting dynamic of this episode to me was the Damon Bonnie Malachi little prison story that was going on. And Bonnie was all like, give me the spell. And he's like, nope. And she's like, well then, just take all my magic and kill me. And
yeah, and he didn't, because he didn't know the spell.
Yeah. Apparently this spell is tied to the Bennett big family spell.
Which was an awesome twist, because it made Bonnie just like, you know, it made her look like she puffed out her chest and was like, bitch, I don't need you.
Well, that goes to ask, is Graham's part of the Gemini Coven?
No.
Or she was she part of the Gemini Coven?
She probably assisted. I mean, not all witch covens hate each other. They can work together easy.
But for them to tie it to a Bennett Witch spell, wouldn't they need a Bennett Witch to cast the spell in the first place?
It was probably Graham's.
So Graham's probably had something to do with that. I hope we get to see that in a flashback.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I really like when Graham's ends up showing up unexpectedly. She's just a really cool character. So then Bonnie ends up killing Kai.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts a pickaxe through his chest? He's clearly dead. He was dead.
Clearly dead.
Then when she realizes it was the Bennett Witch spell, they go in the catacomb, and they're practicing the spell, whatever, it opens up. She's like, all right, let's go home. And then all of a sudden, here comes Kai again.
Puts an arrow through her chest.
Puts an arrow right through her chest. Or was it her side? I don't remember.
That area.
Yes. And Damon's about to give her his blood, and Kai goes nuts and says that he's going to smash the thing and goes to run away. Damon goes to chase that. And then Bonnie ends up grabbing, what is it? Kai and Damon end up wrestling around. Kai's trying to stake him. And Bonnie throws the amulet at him and whooshes him away. Damon is back. He's back in the real world now.
Didn't Kai go after the Ascendant because it was already activated because Bonnie had put her blood on it and he could have just zipped out?
Maybe?
Because
she didn't say any spells, so that might have been it.
Well, yeah, all she did was drop her blood on there, and then it was like, and then it was ready to go, and she's like, okay, Damon, and then...
No, she dropped her blood. She did say a spell, but she didn't say any spells after she threw it to Damon, was my point. She didn't enchant anything, or...
Because it was the timing of the eclipse that sent it off. So she activated it, but the trigger for him to go was the eclipse. So I'm guessing Kai knew that, and he was going to just step in the beam of light and go.
Right. So that begs to ask the question of Malachi. Mm-hmm. Why can't he die?
Part of his punishment.
Is it?
It might be that dimension, too. I mean, they relived the same freaking day over and over again. Why not die? I mean...
Is this a curse that they put on him, or is this the reason that they sent him to the prison in the first place? Because my first thought was, why didn't they just kill him? Why didn't the Gemini Coven just kill him if he's this dangerous? Why put him in a prison that potentially he couldn't get out of someday?
Maybe they just didn't want him on the other side.
It's possible.
Because he would have been an ancestor, and he could cause corruption that way.
It's possible, or maybe he just couldn't die. Maybe this isn't localized to him being in the prison.
Maybe not. Possibly.
That is a good question. You know, what exactly is he then? He's more than just a vampiric witch.
Yeah.
If he can't die, he's something else.
I'm hoping it has to do with the dimension,
That's what I'm also hoping.
I'm hoping that because then, Bonnie's not dead again. I mean, that's just, it's getting overdone. It's like, just leave her dead this time if that's what you want.
No, you can't kill Bonnie for good.
No. I love Bonnie, so I don't want to see her dead either, but it's getting old.
I do agree with that. If it's not Bonnie, it's Jeremy. If it's not Jeremy, it's Bonnie. It's just back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But, do you think Malachi's going to try to save her?
Well, he's going to have to try to put the Ascendant back together. And he's going to need Bonnie to reactivate that spell to get them out of there. So he's going to need her. If the only way to keep her alive is to save her, I think he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's stuck there forever because there's no other Bennett Witch.
Which is true.
Mm-mm.
Unless the Ascendant just needs to be reassembled and it's already been activated, and don't know for sure. But it did break into at least 100 pieces when Damon teleported out and dropped it,
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of, this whole episode, we've seen Stefan pushing away from everybody, and he wants to start over, and he wants his new life, and it's because he can't get over the fact that Damon's gone. Which really I find funny, because in the first few seasons, he wanted nothing to do with Damon. He wanted Damon out of his life.
Yeah.
And even in the flashback that we just saw last episode, he didn't want Damon around. He told him to get out. So now everything's changed. He needs Damon in his life. He feels like he's a different person without him. And he goes to the family crypt. And he's talking, to Damon, even though his body's not there. But all his relatives are. So where exactly is the family crypt if it's not in Mystic Falls? I would think it would be on Salvatore property.
Yeah, it would probably be on. I mean,
Is it just on the outskirt of town? Like, is it? It's got to be close to the border.
guessing because Elena's been there a couple times too, so it's got to be outside of the bubble at least. I
Well,
mean,
the graveyard that they were in last finale, when everybody came back, when Bonnie brought everybody back. If that was in Mystic Falls, they would have died the minute that they came back in.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's whatever cemetery that is. It's got to be just outside the Mystic Falls town property line. But while Stefan's doing all that, he goes and throws a bottle of bourbon, and Damon catches it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Don't waste this.
don't waste this. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good, but it's not I See Dead People good. You know?
Loved that.
That
God, that was great.
was amazing. And Stefan he couldn't believe it for himself. He had to go up and physically touch Damon. He's just like, how? Damon's like, it's a long story.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much just cut it there. So, what do you think this means?
It means there's gonna be some, because the whole time he was getting ready to go, Damon was talking about taking Elena to the movies or just skipping to the good part.
Hmm.
And that's not gonna happen. Mm-mm.
No, because she's with Liam now. And especially since she doesn't have her memories, she's probably going to be very resentful of Damon that Bonnie's not here and that it's his fault.
Oh yeah,
You know,
jeez.
so-
Even Caroline's gonna be hating on him for that. The thing is, they don't know the whole story, and they're not gonna listen to Damon to hear the whole story because they're gonna think he's lying out his fucking ass. It's really frustrating because Damon has grown so much from the whole debacle of, from the very beginning. I loved him in the beginning because he was just that awesome of badass, but then, he did kind of have like this whiny period, and then from that point on, he just became a really strong character. I mean, he still has his ass hattery, but
I still prefer season 1 Damon.
he's more likable now. Likable. Like, I liked him when he was bad, but geez. I mean, likable as a good person.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. He's likable a lot in that whole freezing area thing.
Yep. I mean, I really enjoyed this episode outside of the whole werewolf being able to cross the town line and strip the werewolf thing. That's really the thing that bothers me more than anything about this episode. It's like, if you're going to pull this stunt, you should wait until the barrier is lifted. Then do it. It really irks me.
I think it had to be done. I mean, Liv had to take this step forward to break that barrier for herself to open up, to allow Tyler in. Because you saw when, Tyler confronted her and he was holding her hand, she was really upset. And I think he consoled her a little bit, saying, you saved me.
I'm not
you
gonna
are
waste
my
my
hero.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
He was
I'm
already dead
dead now.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an action that brought the two of them closer. But like I said, it would have been more impactful if the barrier was down and this happened.
That's true. Because then there's no way out. But
And I really am going to be upset if they don't address that at some point and just be like, hey, you could turn into a werewolf and just cross the town line again and then really make Liv feel like shit.
It's too easy.
Yeah. But I don't know, anything else this episode that didn't cover?
Mm-mm. No, we covered everything pretty much. We just have a lot of unanswered questions.
Right, but they're good unanswered questions. Like, I'm really looking forward to getting these answers. I'm not upset that we have the questions.
Makes you want to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So, next episode 6, is called The More You Ignore Me, The Closer I Get, which is a Morrissey song. If you haven't caught on yet, every single episode title this season is a song from 1992 to 1994-ish. So it's all big pop songs.
Oh, wait, before you start,
Hmm.
you know how, what was her teddy bear's name? Cuddles.
Something like that, yeah.
You know how she said it disappeared around that time, and that's the reason why she went back to her house to get it?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's not why she went. She was looking for the spell book, and she found it.
And she found it, but it went missing around that time. I'm guessing that because of this day, and if we say Grams was involved with the Gemini Coven, that bear had a lot to do with, you know, casting the spell and linking Bonnie to it. So if anything ever happened to her, she would go to this prison so she can get herself back out and alive again.
It's possible. I mean, that bear, it was mentioned in a quick 2-second pass off on screen. We haven't seen it again, but I still think it's very important.
Well, I mean, she did carry it around for a little bit. So, I mean, in most cases, when it comes to shows like this, when they bring something in and the character makes a big deal out of it, it's impactful. I mean, it means something.
I also want to mention this episode, R.I.P. to one of my favorite characters this season. Do you have any clue? R.I.P. pancakes.
There were no pancakes, you're right.
There were 0 mentions of pancakes.
It's coming back.
It better.
Damon is going to try to make his best pancakes to win Elena back. That's exactly how that's going to happen.
He's going to start making pancakes in memory of Bonnie now.
That little scene at the end where he's like, I bet there was a million other people you would rather be here with. She's like, nah. It was the sweetest thing. It was so sweet. It's like, oh. Even Damon, he had a little grin on his face. It was cute.
Yeah. It's touching.
It was touching.
Touched me right here in the heart that I don't have.
You don't have a heart.
Anyway, the more you ignore me, the closer I get. A rescue in the night. When Alaric realizes that Joe can't be compelled, he asks Elena to do some digging into her background. After learning that Enzo has been captured by Tripp, Caroline teams up with Matt and Stefan to rescue him before Tripp learns their true identities. Has nothing to do with Ivy, but it's because of Enzo? Like, what? They should be more worried about Ivy than Enzo right now.
I think the initial thing is for Enzo because Tripp told Stefan that he's digging for answers through Enzo.
This is true, but Caroline just witnessed Ivy walking or getting captured too, so I don't know. Armed with some new information about their past. Wait, I lost my spot.
Armed with the new information.
Armed with the new information about her past, Sarah breaks into Tripp's office and is surprised when he finds Matt there, doing some investigating of his own. Meanwhile, Elena is forced to deal with the consequences of her actions, and Jeremy hits rock bottom, lashing out in a destructive way. That's got to be the fact that Damon said that Bonnie's actually dead.
Yeah, well, she's not dead, but...
He thinks she is.
Yeah.
Or at least that there's no way back. So, finally, Damon is determined to take matters into his own hands when he receives some upsetting news. That's got to be Liam.
It's got to be, Elena and Liam.
And maybe Alaric. I mean, this is going to put a rift between Alaric and Damon, too, that Alaric even compelled this to Elena in the first place.
God, the dynamics that are growing is just, ugh.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so exciting.
This season totally redeemed itself.
It did.
It really, really did.
And, I mean, after last season, the rumor that was going around that this season was going to be the last season, I think they can go further now.
Oh, they most definitely can.
They totally can.
That is a rumor that was going around because of Ian and Nina. And then Ian's new girlfriend hanging around the set and Nina being jealous and all this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, that's where that rumor started, and we don't even know if any of that is true. But if it is, they're professionals. They're gonna go past it. She's not gonna give up the show. She's not that she's not a good actress. Not that she's not a pretty girl that could probably get a really big part somewhere. But she's probably making more money now than she's going to make after the show is over for the next couple years.
Yeah.
So to leave the show right now probably wouldn't be in her best interest. If Ian was to leave the show, he's going to be a lot more successful.
He
right?
has. He probably
Lost
has.
Under,
Yeah.
He has Lost under his belt. He's got Vampire Diaries under his belt. 2 series that ran for a really long time.
Yeah.
Lost went, what, 6 years? 5 or 6? 6. Season 6. Vampire Diaries is now in its 5th season. Right? So that's 2 shows that he's potentially, I'm going to assume he's carrying over to season 6, that he's gone for 6 seasons on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not in a lot of the season, whatever. A couple of the other seasons for Lost, but he was, he was in the final season. He was in a lot in the first season, second season, and he was in for a prominent part. It's a character you would definitely remember if you watched the show. But he's pretty much the star of this show. He really is. Like,
yeah, he has the biggest fan base out of all of the characters on the Vampire
It started out with Stefan kind of being the prominent one, but Damon kind of quickly took lead on that. And yeah, Elena is a huge part of it, but honestly, I think they could go on without her if they needed to.
They could.
So,
they have a lot of other characters that are just as well developed and have just as interesting backstories and stories going on right now that they don't need her.
So if Nina left, the show's going to go on. If Ian left, unfortunately, the show is still going to go on, but I won't enjoy it nearly as much. I don't see that being an issue. I see them all still working together. I see this going on. I think Julie Plec said if she had it her way, it would go like 7 seasons. But if the CW had it their way, it would go 20 seasons. So
well, that's them trying to make money.
Right. So they said that they're going to have to hit some kind of middle ground on that. So I think 10, that's my prediction. I think 10 is a good number for them.
At the most. I mean, that's usually the most that most series run on. I mean...
Other show right now that's running on CW for 10 years is Supernatural. And there's no stopping in sight for that. Like, they've even... Their most recent recap of the season, they had a special on just before it, and they literally said that there is no ending in sight. So, this is not their final season. They're going to go on to season 11, and for a show to hit double digits like that and go on past the 10th season, that's huge.
Yeah.
So... I don't know if I see Vampire Diaries going that far. It can.
It can.
But it all depends on the fan base.
It does depend on the fan base, and being that it's kind of like one level of Supernatural kind of thing, whereas like vampires and werewolves and it's all kind of in the same kind of grouping. Whereas Supernatural grabs a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And throws that at you, which has a lot longer shelf life.
Yep. I still would love to see just Sam and Dean sitting in the background at a table. Like, obviously their universes are extremely different.
Yeah.
And their Sam and Dean's from Supernatural, their vampires are very different than what these vampires are. But just to see them like sitting at a table together, like
it would be a nice Easter egg.
Going over a case or something like that would be amazing.
Yes. Very nice Easter egg.
I'd love it.
It'd be great.
Yeah. You have anything else for us this week?
No.
All right. Well, that about wraps things up. Miss Bennett.
On Twitter.
Omikins, where can the people find you?
At LadyVenom24. LadyVenom24.
Now say that backwards.
42MONEVL. No, I fucked up.
You skipped like 3 letters there.
I did.
Fine. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. Or backwards, you can find me at MODEMONEHP. I wonder if I can recite the alphabet backwards. ZYXWVUT.
We all know that I can't.
That's as far as I can get. VUTS.
Is there an R? Q?
Whatever. Anyway, you can follow the rest of us on... You can follow us and others on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, G+, MySpace. And right here on YouTube. youtube.com/ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week. See you guys later.
I really need to get that cough looked at.
No,
It always happens at the same time.
Yeah.
Every time. It's a bore.
Whoa! Just because I'm bleeding out of my mouth over here.
That's so true.
No, it's not because I'm bleeding out of my mouth. I just feasted.
Mm-hmm.